In today's video, I'm going to be going over the best builds for early, mid, and late game for healer. Now, before I completely get into the video, please consider subscribing, liking, and possibly joining my Discord server, linked in the description. But without any further delay, let's get into it. Alright, for early game, I'm going to be looking at two different builds. To start off with, we're going to be looking at Adaptive. Now, Adaptive is overall just a really good set for pretty much any class, and it just gives you a small buff for whatever class you play, and is actually pretty cheap, and the only requirement is floor 3 completion, which is really easy to get. Now, I would say if you can't afford the full set, don't try to replace something with a chestplate or something, because then you won't get the full set bonus, which will make the set pretty much useless. And the reason I'm saying this is because the chestplate is 3 mil, so it might be a little expensive for you if you are early game. But of course, if you are a little bit poor player, you can go with a Mender helmet, and you can replace whatever else to fill in the set that has a decent amount of health and defense that is pretty cheap and fits your budget. And for the weapon, if you do have quite a bit of money left, you can go with an adaptive blade, which is pretty much like the armor, and it just gives you a small buff, and it's overall pretty good. If you can't afford that, I recommend getting an earth shard, which just gives defense and does a decent amount of damage. And for the pet, I recommend getting a blue whale, whatever rarity you can afford, and of course the highest level will be highly recommended that you can get. And one thing I forgot to say is, if you do have a Zombie Slayer 1, you can get a Wand of Healing, or you can get one of the Zombie Swords, which is pretty much just instant healing, just cost mana. Moving on mid-game, I do also have two builds you can get. First of all, you can get the tier set, which is pretty good for defense and can help you with surviving, and that's pretty much what healer is, just surviving and healing your teammates. But instead of the helmet, you will want to get a Minder's Fedora, which is only 500k, so it's not that bad. And if you are a sort of mid to late game player, you can get the gold door boots and leggings, but keep in mind you will need the floor 7 completion, which if you have, that will be really good. And then of course for the chestplate, since the chestplate of gold door is like 21 mil, you would want to go with a perfect tier. The higher the tier, by the way, is higher defense, so just go with whatever you can afford. And of course, for the helmet, go with the Mender Fedora as well. For the weapon, I recommend going with a Livid Dagger, or a Flower of Truth, or a Shadow Fury. It really just depends on your budget. And of course, the Blue Whale will not change. It will just be a really good pet for health, and it will help you with survival as a healer. So just get the highest rarity you can, and the highest level. And of course, yet again, you can go with the Wand of Mending or Healing, whatever you can use. And like I said last time, you can even get one of the Zombie Swords. This time I recommend getting not full gold door, but 3/4, just without the helmet. Of course, for the helmet, you can go with a Mender Fedora or a Mender Crown. It really doesn't matter. Mender Crown the Mender Crown is just a little bit better. And I recommend going with a Livid Dagger or a Shadow Fury. And of course, the Blue Whale Legendary will be the best for your pet. Just go for the highest level you can afford, hopefully level 100. And of course, you can go with the wand that you can use, depending on your Zombie Slayer. And yet again, a Zombie Sword. But besides that, that is early, mid, and late game for healers. If you found this helpful, please consider subscribing and liking. But anyway, I'll see you guys later. Peace out.